Assalamu alaikum students. Now so far we have discussed about the ratio and now you have got the idea about ratio. Now how do we simplify a ratio? So here in this lecture we will see how can we simplify a ratio. So let's look at this example. Let's say that the cost of one book is rupees 50 and the cost of one pen is rupees 10. Now, if I ask you to find out the ratio of the cost of a book to the cost of a pen, that means I am asking you to find out the ratio of cost of a pen to the cost of a book to the cost of a pen. So how much is the cost of book? See, cost of book is rupees 50 and how much is the cost of pen? It's rupees 10. So 50 divided by 10, and both of them are in the same units as these are in the rupees, so we can find out the ratio. So you might say that 50 by 10 is equal to 50 is to 10, and it is the ratio. Now, do you think this ratio is in its simplest form, or you can break it down into its simplest form? Now, you might ask, how do I know if it's simplest form or not? So, in order to know that whether it is in simplest form or not, you just need to do a very simple thing. Just looking at the ratio, just try to observe very closely if these two numbers, 50 and 10, they have any common factor between them except one. For example, let's write down the factors of 50. So when I write down the factors of 50, it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, right? And similarly, what would be the fractions of 10? 1, 2, 5, and 10. Now, when you compare these factors, you see there's one common factor. One is always a common factor. Other than one, there's one more common factor, and that is 10. There is one more common factor, that is 2. 5, it means it has many common factors. It has 1, it has 2, it has 5, it has 10 as common factors. Now when you compare their factors, so it has so many factors, okay? So that means they are not in the simplest form because there are so many factors other than 1. Because simplest form means there should be no other common factor other than 1. Except 1, then should be no other common factor. But here you are having many common factors, so it means these numbers are not in the simplest form. So whenever the two numbers are in the ratio and they have common factor other than 1, that means the ratio is not in its simplest form. Then we have to bring it to its simplest form. Now, how will we do that? We will divide both the terms by the HCF. HCF, that is, it's the highest common factor. We will divide both the ratios by the highest common factor, by the HCF. So we have already learned in the separate chapter how to find the HCF between two numbers. So find out the HCF, highest common factor. So which is the highest common factor here? That is 10. So now we will divide both 50 and 10, both the numbers, by 10. So the ratio would be, when we divide 50 is to 10 by 10, you will get 5 is to 1, right? You have the ratio 50 by 10 and you are dividing 50 by 10 and you are dividing 10 by 10, and 0 0 will get cancelled, you will get 5, 10 10 will get cancelled, and you will get 1. The ratio will be 1, 5 is to 1. Now, is this in its simplest form? Yes, because when you look at the factors of 5, it is 1 and 5. And similarly, when you look at the factors of 1, it's only 1. That means only common factor in 5 and 1 is 1. So they don't have any other common factor other than 1. So that means 5 is to 1 is in its simplest form. So whenever you have to find out ratio between two quantities, you find the ratio and then quickly check that is in its simplest form or not. If that is not in its simplest form, then find out the HCF of two terms and then divide both the terms by HCF, and that is how you can bring that ratio to its simplest form. So this was about the simplifying a ratio.